Hey everyone, this is AJ and I'm coming to you to do this video just to talk about something that's been on my mind for a while. I want to talk about names. So, as a trans person, I have decided to change my name legally. I gave it some thought long and hard, long time ago. And in January, I put in my petition to the court to have my name changed legally. And that takes about 3 to 4 months to happen. But at least the petition is in. And for a lot of trans people, they do decide to change their name. Not all trans people, but for a lot. Because a name change just is very empowering for us. And a particular name that we choose for ourselves, it helps us to identify more with who we are and who we've always been and who we're becoming. And sometimes the birth name that we were given does not. So for a lot of trans people, like me included, we decide to change our names. The problem comes when people who we've always known either don't want to use that name that we choose or keep forgetting to use the name that we choose. It gets frustrating sometimes when we constantly have to let someone know, hey, don't call me by this name. My name is this. And people are apologetic for the most part. They do call us, at least for me, they do call me by the name that I have chosen for myself. And sometimes there are momentary lapses and they'll blurt out my birth name and I'll say, nope, that's not my name. And then they go, oh, I'm so sorry, and that's fine. But when it happens constantly, it just gets so draining and so frustrating, and it feels like that they're just not getting it. I think that people need to be more aware and more conscious of trying their hardest to remember our names. I mean, it's not that hard. But I get it. If you've known us for years or decades or all our lives as one name, it is going to be a little difficult to try to call us something else because it's a mourning process almost. You knew me as this particular name, as this person, and now that I am transitioning and my name has changed, now it's like, okay, I've known this person and now I have to get to know this person and call this person by this name. It sounds complicated, but it really isn't. I am the same person. It's just that, I'm transitioning into who I've always been, who you've known, just not in the gender that I was assigned. So calling me by the name that I choose shouldn't be that hard. So I just think that people need to do better. Not belittling anyone or getting on anyone, but just ranting, basically, because it is frustrating. It really is frustrating, and so it's a learning process. It's a learning process for all of us. When I hear someone call me by my dead name, sometimes I do turn around, and I respond. And then I think, and then I let them know, oh, by the way, my name is this. It's not that anymore, And so it's a learning process on both ends. But I just want everyone to know that I think people need to be more patient, more respectful when it comes to trans people who decide to change their names. We're not asking for much. We just want you to call us by our name, the name that we tell you, the name that we have chosen for ourselves. So, my birth name, when I was born and assigned female at birth, my birth name was Ava, A-V-A. Wonderful name, pretty name, but it is no longer my name. That is now my dead name. My name now is AJ, A-J-A-Y-E, AJ. Now, sidebar, I don't know, for whatever reason, when people see my name, AJAYE, for whatever reason, they don't say AJ, they say Ajaye. That is not Ajaye, people. Like, Ajaye would be spelled with accents over the E at the end, and maybe, I guess, some kind of symbol over the A. There are no accents. There are no symbols. It's just Ajaye. That is not Ajaye. People are just so deep and so woke for their own good that they fail to realize that it is pronounced the exact way that it looks. AJ. Ajaye. Okay, sidebar over. So, my name is AJ. And so far, most people have been calling me that once I tell them my name is AJ. And there have been people who have asked me, well, have you changed your name? Yes, I have. Well, what is your name? And when I tell them, then it clicks for them and they consciously remember to call me that. Sometimes there are a few slip-ups and they'll call me by my birth name and then they go, oh, I'm sorry, AJ. That's totally fine. I get it. I think for my friends, it's a little easier. But for the friends that I've had for decades and for my family who has known me all my life, it may be a little harder. So I need for them to try a little harder to realize that I am no longer Ava. I am AJ. Another thing is that my pronouns are different. So I think everyone needs to respect everyone's pronouns. If someone tells you their pronouns, use them. If you're not sure what someone's pronouns are, ask them. If you don't want to ask, just call them by their name. It's perfectly fine. But for me, ask me my pronouns. Just please don't assume. I had a colleague of mine who referred to me as her, and I had to quickly correct him and say, dude, I am not a her. Please don't use her or she or anything pertaining to female or feminine when it refers to me. My pronouns are they, them. And, he was apologetic and he said, oh, I promise I'll do better. I won't use those pronouns again. Thank you for telling me. And, and that was that. So when it comes to things like that, it's easy, when you ask instead of assuming. So yeah, but getting back to names, I just hope that people will be more respectful and try a little harder to call me by my name now, AJ. And for all trans people who have decided to change their names, I'm hoping that people will be respectful and use the name that was given by that person. Like I said, it's just frustrating to keep having to remind people over and over and over again. It's no matter how long you've known us, And the one thing that I don't like is when people say, well, I've known you as this all my life, and, I just don't know if I can call you that. Yes, you can. It's not that you don't know if you can. It's just that you choose not to. You choose not to try. So I'm going to need for you to choose to try. Give me that respect, please. I do it for you. Think of it this way. When a man and a woman decide to get married, right? And the woman decides to take the name of her husband, she no longer uses her maiden name. She uses her married name, right? So think of it that way when it comes to trans people who decide to change their name. We are no longer using our maiden name or our birth name. We are now using our married name or the name that we have chosen for ourselves because, it's easier to think of that way. Even though we're not married to someone, we are married to us, to the real us, who we are, who we've always been. So we are choosing to call ourselves our name based on who we are as a trans person, as opposed to using the dead name that was given to us during our assignment when we were born. Because technically, I don't know about any other trans person who was assigned female at birth, but I failed that assignment miserably. Miserably. Failed, all F's. I was told not to come back to class. It didn't work for me. And I always knew that since I was 9 years old. But just think of it that way. It's just our name. So be more conscious of calling us our name. Not the name that our parents gave us, but our name. The name that we chose for us to represent us as a trans person. And that's it. That's my rant. I just think that it's really important for people to remember that and to respect that, to respect us, and to help us out just a little bit. It's very empowering, not just for us to say our names, but to hear others say it. And it's affirming. So help us out. Anyway, thank you for listening to my rant. Didn't mean for this video to go so long, but once I start talking, I can keep talking. So please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll come back with more videos soon. All right? Thanks so much. AJ out.